Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, once again here to a Virtual Racing Network. We have a great show in store for you here tonight. 16 drivers have made the call to Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, a road course here for tonight's event, and it should be a good one. We got 5 minutes on the clock. Here again, a little bit shorter intro. Once we'll get it out of the way, the voice hopefully will hold in there. We do have a bit of a cough still. That is the reason for the short intro. But that being said, we are going to go right into the sponsors here for tonight's event, as it is Walls Beard Co. Beard Balm, the presenting sponsor here for this event. Make sure you check them out at wallsbeardco.com. And of course, on the broadcast side of things here for 2019, those do include this series themselves: Northwest Racing Series, Walls Beard Co. Beard Balm, RaceHomeTexas.com, World of Thunder, Hanover Record Service, On the Edge Motorsports, Huffman Designs, Racecore, and Chrome's Custom Graphics. Make sure you check out all of these great partners. Oops, there we go. Click the wrong button. All these great partners over at their website, social media, whatever it is, however you can get a hold of them. Make sure you check them out and thank them for all they do to support this channel. So we have a lot of big changes coming in the near future, and all of them have been a part to help us get there, and probably will be a part as we move forward as well. So make sure you definitely do your part to thank them. We'll go ahead and pull up your main graphic here. As you can see, 3 minutes and 5 seconds coming up on the clock. They have 3 minutes, roughly about 2 laps. Just under 2 laps is what they're going to have here. We do have some drivers in here I think may be a threat. Jason Berg, always going to be a threat. Brian Barnes up there as well. Chris White, Joe Stadnow. A lot of drivers. And we're getting reports that we sound robotic, so give us just a moment here and we will get that fixed real quick. Alright, so if both of them sounding robotic, it is definitely an OBS issue. We should be coming back online here. So we will get that in. We do have people monitoring for us. That big shout out to Chris White for checking that for us. If it still sounds robotic, let us know. Even though I sound horrible anyway. But let us know how it sounds out there, Chris. And definitely we'll fix it again if we have to. Hopefully that did straighten some things out. And so let us know here momentarily as it will be coming back online for him. But in the meantime, while we wait on that, as he is typing there to us, again, 1.5 minutes left, and we are good now. So definitely big shout out to him for letting us know that. But 1 minute left on the clock, basically 1:20 left. Jason Berg, gonna be somebody you have to watch here tonight. Brian Barnes, Chris White himself, Jeff Stadnow, John Ottenbacher. Those are your top 5 drivers. Dan West Jr. has been on fire here lately. William Fletcher up there in the 7th. James Vining, 8th fastest. James Thurston, expect to see good things for him after his time off, but he is back full-time now. And Stephen Paulson rounding out your top 10. Definitely names to watch here during this race. But again, anything is possible in these races. You never know what is going to happen, who is going to come out on top. The last race here, the trucks, we were at the same track. You had Sean Brightsman win by 49 seconds on the track over Jeff Stadnow in 2nd place. So again, you never know what's going to happen, where you're going to finish. Hopefully Jeff will make it through this race. Big shout out to him for even being here tonight. Got word that he hurt his back. Not too bad, hopefully, but definitely not feeling the greatest out there in these races. It may be sim racing, but it's a lot of work and stress on your body, regardless, hitting the brake, gas, turning. There's a lot more to it, as the checkered flag does wave. So we're going to move right on into qualifying, as that will be coming up next. Again, we're not going to sit here and go through every single lap with you, as I'm not sure why the 76 name's still not showing up. That is Rob Stewart. We'll see here. Maybe reset these overlays real fast for you, but Rob Stewart's name, it should be showing up here. Every once in a while we do have those bugs in the system we have to work out. Usually it's because they don't run a practice lap, and I know for a fact he did not. At least not till the very end after we were already in. So we're going to reset these overlays real fast for you here, real fast. And we'll go ahead and pull that up, as well as your qualifying drop down. And there we have the 76 of Rob Stewart. And we're going to jump over to Chris White himself, who is going to be the first one out on the track in the number 83 machine, I do believe. So let's pull up qualifying par. Again, you're watching the 83 of Chris White. We're not going to sit here and read off every single time. You will see everybody's time right there on the screen, or at least the leaders and the difference between the leader and everyone else, so we'll keep an eye on that. But we will go and scan through here as laps come in and at least report to you the top 5, as they're going to be coming out at all different times here in this 10-minute segment of qualifying. We may try to get a word in with someone after they've qualified, but Chris White, again, out on the track in the number 83 machine. Got the SimStar Motorsports Chevrolet on track, and I expect to see good things here. I definitely expect to see a good run from him, as he is just that good of a driver. Alright, they're checking out some stuff real fast. Again, no times have officially come in yet. I do know Jeff Stabnow, Chris White, Dylan Huffines, Dan West Jr., and John Onbacher do have warm-up laps in, so they will be soon. Alright, sorry about that. Had a bit of a coughing fit going on, but we are back. Again, time starting to really come in. Rob Stewart, James Thurston. We got a few more. We'll see. William Fletcher has put in his warm-up lap. Again, you know they're a warm-up lap because they're 2 minutes, 20 seconds, a minute 53. Definitely not their actual laps. So these guys are putting in those warm-up laps, but nobody has officially put in an actual timed lap just yet. That is what we're waiting on here at the moment, and as soon as they do, we will get that lap to you. And it looks like Chris White was the first. 1 minute, 20 seconds, .800. And Jeff Stabnow not going to settle for that time. He's going to run a minute 20.102. He will top that time by .699 as he will take the pole position. So far, again, we still have 6 minutes left on the clock. Jason Berg in the number 21. He was the fastest in practice, and I expect to see him up top. Rob Stewart just ran a minute 22.051. But Jason Berg, again, we may see a minute 19 out of this 21 machine. He's just that good at these road courses. You just never know how it's going to work out for him, how it's going to turn out. I do expect to see good time out of him, though. We'll see. I wish we had an accurate system. You can see right there, 111, 26 miles an hour is what he topped out at. And right there, a minute 18.807. You might want to check the tires on that car. That is a blistering fast lap. 1 minute 18 seconds, .807. Dan West Jr. going to go with a minute 28.03. And Chris White's going to better his time with a minute 20.092. So he will jump to second place place. Wow, dropped Jeff Stabnow down one more spot. John Ottenbacher there will jump over to him. He is on the track in number 89 machine. Fifth fastest, minute 28.94. And he's going to bring it to a stop. So we'll go over to the 00, that Rockstar energy drink. Chevy, yep, there we go. Chevy Camaro of Dylan Huffines. And a good looking ride as well. And, well, it was good looking. He plasters it into the wall. And we'll jump over to the number 2 of James Thurston. He is going to try and get himself up there. Brian Barnes out on the track as well. And we'll see. Brian Barnes will jump over to him in the number 4 machine. Third fastest. 1 minute, 19 seconds. 8:35, and we just missed Jeff Stabnow. He just got off the track. A minute 19.739. He jumps back to second place. That is a difference of .096 separating Jeff Stabnow and Brian Barnes here in qualifying. James Thurston, who we were talking about in the number 2 machine, he's 7th fastest. 1 minute 20 seconds, .919. Dana Rogers taking the scenic route through the dirt and the grass, and that is going to invalidate that lap for sure. Seth Frazier, somebody you got to watch in the number 32 machine, as he is always fast, always a threat, and we'll see how he stacks up here tonight against the rest of this field here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Again, one of the few road courses they do, and surprisingly enough, they did a rolling start last time in the trucks. Will they do that here again? They typically do standing starts, so this is definitely going to be something interesting. Alright, Seth Frazier has completed his warm-up lap, and we'll see what that time will be. Again, got the Mike Wood designs on there. There's a couple of them out here, and it looks just absolutely amazing. That purple stands out. Very nice on that black car. Those purple rims looking pretty nice for him as well. On the track at the moment, though, is Seth Frazier and Stephen Paulson. Jesse Gray, Scott Hutchinson, and William Fletcher have not come out onto the track. William Fletcher was pretty high in practice, so I believe 7th fastest is what he was, but so far he has not put in a time. He did go out on the track, and the time just didn't work for him. Looks like he may have went off course, but Stephen Paulson in the 58 machine is going to jump to 9th fastest, minute 22.031. So he will be 9th fastest as we jump back to Seth Frazier, who's not been in that time just yet. Alright, again, we're fighting that cough here. We want to thank everybody for tuning in here tonight, whether you're on the Facebook side of things or on the YouTube side of things. I know we got Colton out there, Grant out there, David, Brandon, and Chris all watching. So we want to, again, thank everybody for tuning in. Regardless of which side you tried. Unfortunately, Brandon Young, big shout out to him, trying to get in here to help us out with that voice since it's cutting out, but unfortunately not part of the league, and I was afraid that would be the issue. But Brandon will definitely see about getting you in there for future races. And Seth Frazier runs a minute 24.093. I did not expect to see him as low as that, but he'll fight his way through this field. Never count out Seth Frazier. He is always somebody you got to look out for. And it looks like that's probably going to do it here with 41 seconds left to go. So we'll go ahead and get rid of all the qualifying stuff off your screen. We'll say be gone with you. Let's go racing. 30 seconds left on the clock. We'll be right back with your Walls Beard Co. Beard Bomb starting grid. All right, folks, it's going to be a standing start here tonight. Let's get through the grid. On row 1 is going to be the 21 of Jason Berg and the 24 of Jeff Stabnow. Watch those two here for the start. Row 2 is going to be the 4 of Brian Barnes and the 83 of Chris White. Row 3 is going to be the 55 of Dan West Jr. and the 89 of John Ottenbacher. Row 4 is going to be the 2 of James Thurston and the 76 of Rob Stewart. Row 5 is going to be the 58 of Stephen Paulson and the 333 of James Vining. Row 6 is going to be the 07 of Dana Rogers and the 32 of Seth Frazier. Row 7 is going to be the 00 of Dylan Huffines and the 91 of Scott Hutchinson. Row 8 is going to be the 28 of William Fletcher and the 08 of Jesse Gray. And that is going to do it here. 8 rows, 16 drivers. At least that's how many showed up. How many will make the call here tonight for the race here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park? As you can see it right there, Canada's home of motorsports. It actually says Motorsport International Raceway, but that's not what we call it. It's time to get going. They're revving the engines. Looks like Scott Hutchinson in the 91 not going to make the call. As they are revving them up, green flag is out, and Jeff Stabnow doesn't butcher the start here this week. Good news for him. And we are off to the races here tonight as they're going to fly through corner number 1, corner number 2. And again, it is an awesome race. These guys flying around here. We'll keep tabs on where everybody is. They're going to have 3 scoring segments throughout this race. And again, it's going to be a good one. But that 21 machine of Berg already out to a pretty sizable lead here at the moment. And Jeff Stabnow trying to run it down with Brian Barnes, but Brian Barnes a little bit closer. They are single file. Let's go a little further back here if we could. We see back here, these guys getting after it here. We love the camera angles from this track. Look at them. You got the 76, Rob Stewart, James Vining in the 333, and the 32 of Seth Frazier all right here together as James Vining in the 333 having connection issues here tonight early on in this race. We'll see if that connection issue plays a factor later on in the night. Right now, not doing too baddies in there. Again, Scott Hutchinson in the 91 not making the call. Unfortunate here tonight. He's a great driver, but just sometimes doesn't start the race. But when he does, look out, because he is definitely somebody to look out for. We go a little further back here to Seth Frazier in that number 32 machine. Again, keep your eye on him. Don't count him out. He will be to the front of this track here in just a little bit. He's just that good. We go even further back here to William Fletcher. Again, 7th fastest in practice, starting back in 14th right now. Obviously, got his work cut out for him, but he is on the move to get to that front. We'll see if he can get back up there to where he was in practice. Meanwhile, out front, not looking back, that is the 21 of Jason Berg, the alien, if you might call him, whatever. He may be an alien. If you probably go raid that area 51, you may find him there, folks. That may be where this team resides, in the number 21 machine. Right behind him is the 4 Brian Barnes. One of the few A classes here in the road course. Again, most of these guys are all A class on oval, but not necessarily on road. Even Jason Berg, only a B class, 3.44 here, but a 2 A class 2.90 here for Brian Barnes in that number 4 machine. Jeff Stabnow, a rookie on the road. You wouldn't know it by his driving style, though. He is a beast. He is all over the back bumper of Brian Barnes. We got a nice little battle going on for second place here at the moment. Will he be able to run him down and pass him is the question. Again, it's one thing to catch him. It's a whole other ball game to get by him and actually make the pass. And it's, you know, these road courses, they don't go to him often, but it is a whole different ball of wax as we had a car going off the track, and it is going to be the 83 of Chris White, who takes a scenic route and almost collects somebody with him. I believe it's a 50-80 almost collects with him as he comes back out onto the track. And he is going to have to clean them tires off just a little bit, as going through that grass will definitely not sit well with the car. And these are fixed setups. They cannot adjust them too much. So I believe you can make minor little adjustments to them. You can't change the tire pressures, anything. You may be able to make one or two little minor tweaks, but definitely has got his work cut out for him now with those dirty tires. Hopefully he gets them clean soon. As we go a little further back here in the field, got a little battle going on between Dylan Huffines in the Doubles Hero and the 08 of Jesse Gray. These two are going to see what they got going back here. Kind of all by themselves. They do a William Fletcher back here in the 28 machine. But he's a little ways back here. But we'll see how it goes. Again, if you're just tuning in, you're watching the Northwest Xfinity Series here on a Monday night, presented by Walls Beard Co. Beard Bomb here on Virtual Racing Network live tonight. And right there, the 08 of Jesse Gray, all over his back bumper. Let's go to the onboard cam here, brought to you by Northwest Racing Series. And he is right there. You'll see it reeling in really close right here. And then, bam, there goes the rocket. That is Dylan Huffines. He gets shot out of it, and he'll reel him back in, and then he'll drive off again. This time around, we have William Fletcher starting to catch him as well. So keep an eye on these three here. Meanwhile, we're going to go back to Rob Stewart in the 76. Another little group of about 6 cars all bunched up here together. Anywhere from John Ottenbacher all the way down to Rob Stewart. These guys all right there together. Again, just some great racing here tonight. Make sure if you like the race, you know what to do. Hit that thumbs up button. If you don't, well, you know what to do as well. You know, show these drivers you like what they do. They come in here week in and week out and practice, race, practice more, just to put on a good show, and of course they have a good time as well. But they definitely come out here, they try to put on a good show for you. Obviously, we try to put on a good show for you as well. Hopefully, you enjoy tuning in each week. We got plenty of racing. We will be off the next 2 days. So we're going to be off Tuesday and Wednesday. We are currently looking to pick up a Tuesday series here for the remainder of 2019. We are looking for a dirt or short track asphalt league, as that is what we're more geared towards. So if you happen to have one of those or know someone that does that wants to be broadcasted, have them check us out, virtualracingnetwork.net, and we can get that ball rolling. That being said, back to Thursday. We will come back Thursday night at 7 p.m. Central with some Schaefer's Oil Modified Touring Series as we load them modifieds up to the dirt, or into the trailers and go dirt track racing. And then, of course, we'll be back to dirt track racing on Friday night at Modern Motor Speedway as we are off this Thursday for the Northwest Truck Series. So a lot of stuff going on this week. We go a little bit back here. Chris White falling back there after that Spanel check-in with him there. Started 4th, but he's back in 9th. And this goes to show you what we were talking about early on, how hard it is to pass here. As he didn't hit anything. He did go through the grass. But now that he's trying to get back by the 76 of Rob Stewart, he's just not able to do it. Track position is key, is right there. Almost a little bit of contact, but the 76 of Rob Stewart goes off track, and that allows Chris White and James Vining to get by him, and that is what he needed. He picked up one spot there to 8th place. So again, track position is key on road courses, and you will see strategies probably made on pit road to try to gain some position, as we're going to see Dana Rogers on pit road already. Can't really see it at the angle, but on a pit road here for Dana Rogers. So back to the opposite end of the spectrum here. You got the 21 of Jason Berg out front by an 8-second lead. Again, just an alien out here on this track. For all those people out there crazy and going to go out there and raid Area 51, look for that 21 machine, because that's probably where you're going to find his shop at. He's just that good. Again, we are on lap 6 of 55 and nearly an 8.5 second lead. Second place, there we go, second place, Brian Barnes. Not too far back from him is going to be Jeff Stabnow. We'll go on board with Jeff Stabnow. You can see Brian Barnes in front of him, so he's not that far ahead. Gap there of about point... about 2.5 seconds, basically. So he's not super far behind him, but he ain't close either. So there is definitely some time to be made up there if you are Jeff Stabnow. We'll see if he can do it. But again, for Jeff Stabnow even to be running this race is good because he's not feeling good. Again, we reported hurt his back at work, he does believe. So we do have sending those prayers out to Jeff Stabnow that he gets that sorted out. And it is nothing serious, and he's able to get back there. Hopefully it's just maybe a sprain or something, but out there running this race here tonight. So good job for him. Right behind him in his teammate, John Ottenbacher, Steven Paulson, they're all over his back bumper trying to make that pass. That would be a 4th position pass. So we'll see. Again, I don't expect to see too much going on here tonight. We'll be going back and forth trying to find some positions. We'll go on board with a couple of drivers. Again, it looks like James Thurston has possibly called it a night here. And he has indeed. So James, if you're out there, if you could come back in here to TeamSpeak, we'll see if we can't get a word in with you, see what happened there. But he went down pit road for 5.1 seconds and called it a day. As looks like we do have another driver, Steven Paulson, in the 58 machine. He goes around on the track. And you see right there, he's going to make his return back to the racing surface as he gets a chance to, but he'll lose several spots. Still on the lead lap, though, as there is your leader. So again, James Thurston out of the race. Hopefully he's out there and can hear us. If he can come back to TeamSpeak, we'll chat with him. Possibly maybe get him in the booth here for this race and see what happened there that brought him down pit road. Obviously, it wasn't a connection issue. As he was there on pit road, he didn't just disconnect from the server or blink out or anything like that. So definitely was a car issue possibly, but something happening there. Again, we're going to cycle through these drivers. Not just a super amount of action going on here tonight. These guys are having to bide their time. Where we're going to see the main action here tonight, folks, is going to be on pit road. These guys trying to make those strategy calls. 2 tires, 4 tires. I don't think anybody will take no tires. But those are going to be where we see the strategy here tonight to try and gain position from each other. So guaranteed right now, Dana Rogers, who had already been down pit road for almost 2 minutes, is 2 laps down at the moment, but next time by will pass James Thurston to take 14th position, and that will be the lowest Dana Rogers can finish here tonight. As of course there won't be anyone else. James Thurston will be more laps down, and Scott Hutchinson, of course, didn't make the call here tonight to start this race. So again, this is the furthest he can go back down. Seth Frazier is behind Dana Rogers, but that is only a real estate deal. Seth Frazier may be behind Dana Rogers on the track, but actually ahead of him in the scoring tower. So 2 different things there going on, and it looks like BJ Shelton is coming in a little late and then left. I guess he didn't get here just in time. It's unfortunate. Would have liked to see him out on the track here. But there is someone who is on the track, your race leader. Again, that is the 21 of Jason Berg, just out front right now. Absolutely dominating. 12.266 second lead. And just, it goes to show, we'll see. We're going to keep tabs on this 21 machine and see, is his lead going to be as big as the one that happened on a Thursday night, this past Thursday, where Sean Brightsman had a 49-second lead over Jeff Stabnow for second place. Will we see that again, or will things shake up here when we go to pit stop? Is that we're going to have Dylan Huffines going around in that 00 machine, and that is going to cost him some serious time, and I don't think he's the only one I thought we had the 76 going around, but that is not correct. He was just going slowing down there. But again, the double zero of Dylan Huffines goes around, and he's going to lose it again. Smacks the, well, outside wall technically that time, and that is going to cost him more. He goes through the grass, throwing some mud into the air. That car is just not handling the way he wants. He does have a fast repair. However, he's not going to get a caution to use it. He's going to have to limp around this track until the pit stop, or just bring it down and go a lap down. And that will end his hopes of getting the win here, again, with no full course cautions. You definitely don't want to be stuck on pit road or have to go down pit road. But unfortunately, that is part of how it plays out. As we'll go a little further up here to Brian Barnes. He's just methodically going. That gap went from 12 seconds to 9 seconds. So Jason Berg either conserving out there or got a little loose. But something happened to allow them to catch. And Dylan Huffines is going to come down pit road. You can see him right there. So Dylan Huffines is going to go ahead and bite the bullet and will go a lap down, I'm sure. As we'll see right there. Yeah, he definitely will go a lap down from your leader, Jason Berg, as he crosses the line. But he's going to get that fast repair used. Possibly Dylan Huffines having problems on pit road. Can't get in the stall. That's going to cost him even more time. Again, good news is it may not cost him a second lap just because it's a road course. And the laps take about 1:25 to get around. So he's definitely not going to lose 2 laps, I don't believe. It just depends on how much repairs he does have to make to that car. Once again, we want to thank everybody for tuning in here. I know it's a late night, depending on where you're at. About 10:30 or so here. So just depending on where you're at, it may be a little late. But, you know a good race when you see us. Thanks for tuning in. Even the ones that don't necessarily like it. We see we got a couple of dislikes out there, but we thank you for the view anyway. You're helping our stats out, so thanks for stopping by to pad our stats just a little bit to help us out there. We do appreciate everybody that shows up, whether you appreciate being here or not. But that being said, it looks like Jeff Stab now is having that back issue there, as we just saw spinning around there. And we'll see. Let's go back here and take a look again. Well, we'll get back to the right driver there. And it keeps wanting to go to the wrong one. But right there, you see it's already there. So Jeff Stab now having issues there on that last lap to cause him some damage to the car. Unfortunate, and he's already, again, we reported he's not feeling good, having a little bit of pain in the back. So this is definitely not going to help him getting into the wall or whatever happened there. So hopefully he can either tough it out or just park it. He may end up having to park this car. That was an option, but he didn't want to miss the race. He's just that much of a trooper here that he'll stick it out as long as he can. But he falls from 3rd place all the way to 8th. So we'll see if he does call it a night later on here in the race. Meanwhile, you got the 55 of Dan West Jr., followed by Chris White and John Odbacher. They're still bunched here together. We'll see how they go later on. Again, you know what to do out there. If you like the racing, hit that thumbs up button. We got a lot of people out there watching that not necessarily have hit it yet, but if you like it, you know what to do. If you like the drivers, also let us know who your pick for tonight's race win is. I know there's a lot of you out there, and you know, everyone's got an opinion. Who's your pick there? Let us know in chat who you are rooting for, whether you're on Facebook or on YouTube here tonight. We definitely appreciate and want to hear from you. So let us know in that chat box who your pick is. Chris White doing his best to try to get by Dan West Jr. here tonight. But so far, just not quite being able to do it. As we have right now 42 laps to go. or an hour and a half, whichever comes first. But I obviously think those laps will come first with the no caution. So, again, currently 42 laps to go. And we're going to take, well, maybe not. We'll hold on here with the 55. Dan West Jr. gets way out of shape. And the 83 almost clobbers him, but Chris White's going to make a pass here because of that little mistake in that bobble where he gets out of shape. That's going to allow Chris White and the 83 to get by the 55 of Dan West Jr. That's exactly what he needed. Chris White's back to third. Again, that is higher where then he started. Take a look. He started fourth. He's up to third. So he's actually progressed forward in this race. So, again, that's exactly what he was needing to do. But we have 41 laps to go. We're going to step away to a quick commercial break while you watch this battle for third position between White, West, and Ottenbacher. We're going to step away here for a quick moment, and we'll be back after a quick commercial break.
Say command.
What is the weather like in LA?
The weather is clear in LA.
What is the weather like in New York?
The weather is rain in New York.
Use flow mode.
Flow.
Say hello, TT.
Hello, TT.
Alright, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, here on lap 16 with 40 laps to go. Your leader by 26 seconds is Jason Berg. But we got pit stops underway. Jeff Stab now on pit road. He'll get his fast repair used. James Vining is sitting on pit road in the 333. And Brian Barnes made his pit stop as well. That was all during the commercial break, these guys that came down and got their stuff done. Of course, John Huffines in the 00 had already been down pit road. Dan Rogers as well. We have 9 drivers on the lead lap right now, but that is only because of pit stops. Once everybody cycles through, that will change once again. At the moment, of course, William Fletcher, the last one on the lap. Our lead lap here, on the lead lap here. Let's bring down your running order onto the screen and look at the gaps between drivers right now. You'll see this is the gap to the leader. Obviously, Hutchinson, DNS, Thurston out, and then you have 3 laps for Dana Rogers, 1 lap for Stabnow, Frazier, Vining, and Huffines because of pit stops. And then 55 seconds, 54 seconds, 53, 40. So huge gaps between everybody else to the leader. Again, this is basically a repeat of Thursday night, last Thursday, where you're seeing big gaps between the first and everybody else. As, of course, your leader, Sean Breitzman, had a just huge lead over the rest of the field. He was on rails. Well, that car that's on rails here tonight is the 21 of Jason Berg. as he is out front leading the race. But here comes a pass. Stephen Paulson trying to get by Jesse Gray, and he'll do it to take 7th place. Again, there are still battles on the track. They may not be at the front, but don't count these guys out the back. They're putting on some shows back here for you, back in the back of this field as well, in midfield. So you always got to keep an eye on them. Who will be the next one to make a pass is the question, as we have Dan West Jr. coming down pit road to take his pit stop for the night. And I'll go around. We're also going to have... Nope, that's it. Dan West Jr., the only one coming down that last time to get his stop. So everybody is kind of split right now as to when they're going to pit. I do believe we got about 50% here that have come down. 50% that haven't. Jason Berg, Chris White, John Ottenbacher have not come down. And I say that here goes the 21. Your race leader comes down pit road. We will watch this stop from start to come in and see if any mistakes are made on pit road. And looks like it's going to be a fairly flawless stop. No, he has to back up, and that will cost him. He pulls forward, and he's going to have to back up again, I do believe. Nope, there, he gets the jack under the car. So that will cost him a little bit of time, but definitely not a lot in the grand scheme of things. Question is, where is Chris White? There he is coming down the pit road, as well as John Ottenbacher. So second and third coming down the pit road as well. And this is where it's going to get interesting, folks. Okay, so you see all three of them on pit road. He just came out. Here's Brian Barnes, your second place car. He's up to speed, and can he get by Jason Berg in time to make the pass? I just don't know if he can. It's going to be a close one, but it looks like Jason Berg, even with that bobble, is going to get out and up to speed before Brian Barnes and that Ford can catch him to take the lead away from him. That is unfortunate. I'm sure Brian Barnes was hoping he could capitalize off that pit stop and get the lead, but it just didn't happen here the way he planned it to happen. So it's unfortunate, but it's just part of racing. They will have to come down once again, as they're getting about 20 or so laps on fuel, so they will have to come down one more time to take fuel. Again, pit stops underway here, as we'll switch over here. Rob Stewart coming down in the 76 machine. He's going to take his pit stop. And looks like Stephen Paulson's going to come down, as well as William Fletcher and Jesse Gray. And when these guys complete their stops, that will complete round one of pit stops here for tonight. That'll do it for all the pit stops. Jason Berg still out front leading this race, as nobody has been able to keep up with him here tonight. He took off and checked out from this field. Just an awesome job for him. Again, you're just speechless when you talk about how fast he is. John Ottenbacher here doing a good job in that 89 machine of holding off Dan West Jr. in the 55 as they come around the corner. And again here, we're going to take a look and see how spread out they are here. Again, there's a lot of guys not necessarily on the lead lap. We have Seth Frazier one lap down. And, of course, Jesse Gray in the pits right now. And we'll see if he gets out of the pits soon. If not, we're going to go check in with him. Dana Rogers in the pits as well. So Dana Rogers coming back down pit road. And looks like Jesse Gray is going to park it here in that 08 machine. He's going to be done for the night, so it'll say out of race here soon for the 08, who is currently marked in the pits. So that is unfortunate for that '08 machine, but called a night. Again, Dylan Huffines had called it a night already. James Thurston and Scott Hutchinson didn't make the call, so a few drivers that have went ahead and called it a night. All right, we do want to put a quick plug in the air for anyone out there watching here tonight. If you have or know somebody that has a Tuesday league that is a dirt track league or a short track asphalt league on a Tuesday night, we do have an immediate opening for that day. Time does not matter. We're free during the day or during the night on Tuesday night, so definitely have them hit us up or hit us up yourself at virtualracingnetwork.net or on the Facebook page. Just look up Virtual Racing Network and you can find us getting an immediate opening on Tuesday nights. Again, Jason Berg out front. We got 2 cars a lap down. As we'll see here, it looks like Dana Rogers in the 07 going to go off track there just a little bit. Comes back onto the racing surface. We'll go ahead and get rid of that off the side. And let's bring up your main bar onto the screen here. You're watching the Northwest Xfinity Series presented by Walls Beard Co. Beard Balm. And you're watching it all live here on Virtual Racing Network. 21 laps. How many Jason Berg has led? That is every lap that we have completed so far. As we're on lap number 22 with 34 laps to go. One more pit stop will have to be made by the drivers here tonight. They cannot make it the rest of the way. So again, mistakes can be made on pit road. You hope they don't happen, but unfortunately in racing they sometimes do. And they just hope that it doesn't happen to you. And no, we did not plan that rhyme out from the start, I promise. It just kind of happened that way. Good news is the voice is hanging in there. We got some of this fancy liquid stuff they call water to keep us hydrated, as Brian Barnes going to go for a little wild ride there. As he gets a little out of shape, but he keeps it together in green in the right direction. And if you like the race, you know what to do. Hit that thumbs up button. Let these drivers know. Let the rest of the fans know you like the racing here tonight. And, of course, it's a road course, so they are a little spread out without the cautions, kind of bringing them back together. That tends to happen sometimes. It is unfortunate. But looking ahead here, not sure who that is. That's going to be Chris White. And it looks like, yes, the 58 of Stephen Paulson. Stephen Paulson is a lap down. That's not a battle for position. It's a battle for some real estate on this racing surface, but not a battle for a position in the scoring tower. As the 58 is going to go around and almost collects the 83 of Chris White with him. Chris White having to check way up. And you know what that's going to do? That's going to allow the 89 of John Ottenbacher to reel him in just a little bit more. If you're Chris White, you probably have already said a few choice words to that 58 driver into your head or in your own radio communications right now. Not that the 58 is doing anything wrong. There's no written rule that says you have to just roll over and get out of the way. As John Ottenbacher goes off the track now, that's going to get rid of any of that time that he gained on Chris White. But we'll see. We'll go back to Chris White here and check. So a lot of mistakes being made here tonight. We've seen several of them. And there you see right now, the 58 of Stephen Paulson, while he may be a lap down, and he has got a little wiggly there in that 58 machine, he's not slowing down. And Chris White goes way off course, trying to get around the corner here, and he's going to come back, but it's not going to be enough, as John Ottenbacher is going to be able to get by him, and so is Dan West Jr. These three guys right here, Dan West Jr., John Ottenbacher, and Chris White, they have pretty much been together all night long. They've traded third, fourth, and fifth. There for a while it was fourth, fifth, and sixth. But they have traded these spots back and forth. You'll see the 89 make a little mistake. Then the 55 will get it, and he'll make a little mistake. And then the same thing, the 83 will get it, and he'll make a mistake. So mistakes have been made here, and each one of them capitalizes off of it each time. and then they cycle around and do it once again. So don't let anybody tell you that road course racing can't be exciting. As right now you're seeing it, just that little bit of a mistake you see right there. The 55 locks it up, gets a little hot into the corner, but he keeps it going so far. And I'm going to check here just to make sure, as we do have quite a few Fords and Chevys, and you got the lone Toyota in here, I do believe. That is right. We have only one Toyota, and that's way back here in ninth position. James Vining, the lone Toyota. So, of course, they're a little saying, let's go places. Well, hopefully that'll work out for him and that Toyota as he can go places. Currently one lap down in ninth position. We go back up to this little group. Dan West Jr. still trying to reel in John Ottenbacher. Chris White, after that incident, he has gone way back from this group, almost to the point he can't even see him. Let's go on board with him and see. He still can't see him, but it's not by much right there. He's out of distance, so you can't see him, and he'll bring him back in as he comes over the hill. Off board here was John Ottenbacher. That's Seth Frazier that they're passing. So Seth Frazier one lap down here at the moment. I did not expect to see him this far back, and definitely didn't expect to see him a lap down, as he's usually really good at the races. So road course may not quite be his thing here tonight, or at least not this track. Maybe he didn't get enough time to get out here and lay down some laps. But he is one lap down in 11th position. Meanwhile, up front, Jason Berg still dominating the race. All right, we are back there in a little coughing fit going on. Brian Barnes still in second place. John Ottenbacher in a third. Dan West Jr. fourth. Chris White in fifth. And Jeff Stadnall in a sixth position right now, trying to work his way back to the front. Again, not feeling good, so it's amazing he's even out on the track right now. But he is doing everything he can to try and keep this car on the track. Again, we want to shout out to everyone out there watching. I know we got a ton of people on Facebook. We got quite a few people on the YouTube side, and actually it looks like the YouTube side, the Facebook side has gone down. We do apologize for that. I'm not sure. I bet it went down when we had the incident there. We had to restart, so we do apologize for that. Let's see if we can get it up. It may be up in just a different link. It is indeed, so we do apologize for that. No wonder we couldn't even get in chat with y'all. All right, there we go. We have it back up and now watching it. We do apologize for that. But I'm wondering why we weren't seeing any chat there on the YouTube side of things, or Facebook side of things. So we had forgot it kills it on that end. It doesn't just let us keep going. So it's unfortunate, but we'll go back here a little bit. John Ottenbacher in that 89, having a fairly decent night, but not necessarily his best. Dan West Jr. trying to run him down here, as we have 28 laps to go, as we're on lap 28 as well. So we are right at the halfway point. As you'll see when they get to the line anyway, coming up here in a minute, it will be 28 complete. Well, it's right there. It's 27 complete, 28 to go, so we're basically at the halfway point. You obviously aren't going to find a 100% halfway point. But since we are at the halfway point here of the race, we are going to go ahead and step away here for hopefully our last commercial break of the night, and we will be right back here in just a few moments.
There's nothing you can do, and I'm gonna run all over you. It's too late to try, there's nothing you can do. I'm gonna run all over you. I'm looking for new blood, and nothing's gonna stop me now. Yeah, I'm looking for new blood, and nothing's gonna stop me now. Nothing's gonna stop me. Looking for new blood.
All right, we are back, and we were going to cut in, but we decided to go ahead and run it out. Brian Barnes comes down pit road for his pit stop, and it looks like Jason Berg's going to be the next one to come down. They're coming down a little shorter than I thought they would here on this round of pit stops. It's going to give them about 26 laps to go. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to make it or not. We'll have to see if we can get a word in with somebody on the radio communications to see if they can make it the rest of the way on fuel. We'll find out here. Seth Frazier still on pit road as he's been sitting there for about 3 minutes now. Go ahead and bring your main bar back up. And next one to come out again, Brian Barnes and Jason Berg have pitted. They've made 2 stops. Everybody else has made 1 with the exception of Steven Paulson and Dana Rogers. They have made 2 as well. Seth Frazier still on pit road. So unfortunate for him that he has not come back off pit road. But we're going to see if we can't get a quick word in here real fast and see what the fuel mileage is here. So give us just a moment, and we'll be right back. All right, there. We didn't want to. You never know what's going to go over radio chatter when we go live with that, so we kept that off the air. But we did find out after talking to Seth Frazier in that number 32 machine, who we did find out has only been on this track 1 time, and as we said, he's somebody you gotta watch out for. So if he's not up at the front, there's a good reason for it, and there you have it right there. He hasn't been on the track but 1 time, but we did hear 16 to 18, 20 laps, somewhere in there. So we'll say 16 to 20. So these guys that have come down, regardless, they are gonna have to come down again and get fuel. So he said they might be able to push it. He couldn't. So it's going to be very interesting. 26 laps. That's 6 more laps than the max that we were kind of guessing there. So it's going to be very interesting to see if these guys can do it. Right now, Jason Berg does have a 17-second lead, but I don't think even that's going to be enough to hold off somebody if they're coming full power and you're having to conserve fuel that much. So we'll see. Brian Barnes behind him, running as clean a race as you would expect and hope for. Behind him is going to be Dan West Jr. in 55, and again, they are super spread out right now. There you see John Ottenbacher not too far behind. Let's go up to Jason Berg if we could one more time, and let's go on board with him. When he gets to the line, we're going to take a lap or so around here and just see how much he's working this wheel, if he's working the wheel at all. As he is definitely putting a clinic on this field right now as he's coming to the line. So let's go on board with him for one lap. Alright, there you have it, folks. One lap around this track with your race leader, the 21 of Jason Berg. Again, who has been so dominant. Meanwhile, was there William Fletcher coming down pit road as well. Chris White made his stop during that lap. We didn't want to, of course, interrupt it, but those guys did come down pit road and are coming down pit road at the moment. We'll see again. I would say somebody has a chance, but Jason Berg's going to have to make some serious mistakes here in order for that to happen. If 20 laps is the max, or that one driver could make 22, might not be that too much of a stretch here for the 83 of Chris White, who comes back on. He has 0 laps on those tires. Again, we're keeping an eye right now. The max on the track is 18. That's Jeff Stabnow, who has 18 laps on this set of tires and fuel. So can anybody actually stretch it to 22 laps? It's going to be a tough feat for anybody to do. But if anybody can do it, it's going to be one of the drivers here in this series. Again, I'm super impressed with Jeff Stabnow to make it this far. He had said something about maybe taking a few laps and parking it, depending on how he felt. I'm sure he's not feeling good. We won't be talking to him, even if he gets in the top 3. It'll be a short talk if he does, but he locks it up there to try and not go off the track, and that's what hurt him. Hitting the brake there is what hurts that back even worse, and I'm sure that did not feel real good right there, having to lock those brakes up like he did. Let's go over here to John Ottenbacher, though, in the 89. I thought that was who was battling there. There we go. Rob Stewart in the 76, who is trying to run down the 333. Again, that's a battle for position, or real estate, not for position in the scoring tower. So the scoring tower not even paying attention to that battle. But the drivers on the track, of course, are, because that's for a little bit of real estate that these guys are battling for. So they are paying attention, even though the scoring tower is not, because it's not for any type of position. Meanwhile, we're going to go back a little further here. Stephen Paulson 1 lap down. Chris White is also a lap down now as well, and we're going to have Jeff Stabnow coming down to take his second pit stop, and he's having troubles on pit road as well. Can't get the car in the stall where he wants it. There it goes. The jack's going to go under the car, and it will get him 4 tires and fuel here in that number 24 machine. And I thought I saw somebody else coming down pit road. I don't. Jeff Stabnow off and away as he is back to the races here. And right there he comes out of pit road. There's very little pit exit here. Bam, you're back on the track and going. So you have to be real careful. There's the 89, hits those turtle there, a little rumble strip, and gets the car up on two wheels. William Fletcher currently one lap down in ninth position here with 20 laps to go. Trying to run down that 89 of John Ottenbacher just to pass him on the track. If nothing else, it won't be for a position, but it will be one more little piece of real estate he'll get, and it looks like the 89 is not even going to battle him, so John Ottenbacher going to let the 28 by. No need in battling with him. If he's that fast, let him by. A smart move if you're the 89 of John Ottenbacher. There's no need to battle for somebody who's not really even on the same lap as you. It's just going to end up wearing your tires out even more and not let you run your line. Again, they're all chasing down this guy anyway, who has a 20.350 second lead. And again, not quite as big as the Monday night for Sean Brightsman, but still a pretty sizable lead to say the least. Then we're checking in on chat there for everybody tuning in here tonight. We do appreciate everybody that watches out there. And of course, let us know in chat who you're rooting for. If you have a favorite driver, if you're just here for some great racing, we have plenty of that going on as well. So we'll see who does come out on top. But again, based on what we've seen so far, I'm pretty confident in saying that it is going to be the 21 of Jason Berg. But again, nothing is set in stone until somebody actually wins the race. So when that actually happens, well, then we'll officially know. But Jesse Gray is out of the race so far. Dylan Huffline's out of the race. James Thurston, Scott Hutchinson didn't start. Seth Frazier still on pit road. And so far we're just waiting on one more driver, Rob Stewart. 17 laps. He has not come down pit road for his second time. Again, this is going to be interesting here to see how this goes. How they've planned this out. We know they can make 18 laps on fuel, for sure. We've seen it done. John Ottenbacher, 18 laps to go with 0 laps on this set of tires. He is right there with Jason Berg, but he's a lap down. So, again, same kind of boat here. Dan West Jr., 1 lap, but he is actually on the lead lap. So, pit strategy could possibly work. I'm not sure. We're going to have to see. Jason Berg, 8 laps on this run. If you do add 8 to 18, that's going to be well over what we think they can make on fuel. Jason Berg going to have to do some serious conserving and possibly do some praying there, as he's going to have to conserve a ton of fuel. Unless he got some pointers from Rocket Man Ryan Newman, who could conserve fuel like nobody's business. He definitely is going to come up a little bit short and have to come down pit road again. Meanwhile, of course, Chris White coming down to pit road, and this will ensure right there that he can make it to the completion of this race. No tires, splash of fuel only, 5.2 seconds. He's off and away and back onto the race track now, so he is good to go on fuel. And it looks like Stephen Paulson in the 58 machine is going to come down. And I would imagine the same thing right here. You're not going to see a jack come out. You're going to see a splash of fuel only. No, tires too here for the 58 of Stephen Paulson. I did not expect to see this. Is he going to take all 4? He is. Stephen Paulson, 4 tires and fuel. And actually, that's just showing his second stop. So we'll see. And here it comes. No, sorry, that was the third. It just completed. It was his third stop. I thought so. And Rob Stewart coming down to complete his second stop here of the night in the number 78 machine. He'll drop to 5th place. So he will be able to make it on fuel here with 2 stops. 16 laps to go, so that's going to be 26 laps if you're Jason Berg to try to make it on fuel as he goes off track just a little bit. The question is, can he make it 26 laps? Be 27 if you're Brian Barnes, but then it would only be about 19 if you're Dan West Jr. and 18 if you're John Ottenbacher. Rob Stewart would be 16. So did they seal their fate with their pit stops here? Dan West Jr., John Ottenbacher, and Rob Stewart setting themselves up for a potential win here. If Jason Berg and Brian Barnes have to come down again and pit, Dan West Jr., John Ottenbacher, Rob Stewart, if they can get by Jason Berg or Brian Barnes on pit road before they can get back out, and they get a big enough lead, and that is the key. When you're talking about somebody like Jason Berg or Brian Barnes, you not only want to need and have to, you absolutely have to get out in front of them, and you better get out a long ways in front of them, because Jason Berg is so fast, he's going to run you down, and he will try to get the pass. So that's going to be the big key. I don't think it's going to be, even if they get in front of Jason Berg or Brian Barnes, especially Jason Berg here tonight, they're going to have to get out there and get way ahead, and at least probably about 4 laps worth of speed ahead of these guys. So it looks like James Viney's going to call it a night on pit road. He's going to come down 16 seconds. His night is done in the 3:33 machine. We currently have 10 drivers on the track. Dana Rogers' car heavily beat up, but still out on the track, pushing forward. Again, this is the driver we're keeping an eye on right there, the 21, and of course the 4 of Brian Barnes. These two, will they have to come back down pit road again? I believe they're going to have to, compared to everybody else. Again, right there, you got 11 laps on the stint here for Jason Berg in the 21. 12 for the 4 of Brian Barnes. 5 for Dan West Jr., John Ottenbacher. 4, Rob Stewart. 1 on this stint. So we know these guys can make it on fuel the rest of the race. Actually, everybody behind them can make it on fuel for the remainder of this race. Do believe William Fletcher may be cutting it a little close with 7 on this stint with 14 to go. But still, these guys pushing it to the bare max, or to the straight maxing out the limiter here, if you're Berg or Barnes right now. So something's got to give, or they're going to have to conserve a lot. We're definitely going to enjoy talking to them here in the post-race show if they do pull off the win here with 14 to go. We are going to step away here just for a moment for our last commercial break of the night, and we will be right back here momentarily with the completion of this race. All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. 13 19 laps to go. That's all that remains for your race leader. Pull up your main bar. If you're just tuning in, hopefully not. But well, hopefully you are tuning in, but hopefully not this late. But you're watching the Northwest Xfinity Series here, presented by Walls of Beard Co. Beard Bomb. You're watching it live here on Virtual Racing Network tonight. Again, it's been a great race all around, a little bit spread out, but it is a road course. And we do have a 53-second gap between your top two drivers, which puts us past the threshold of Thursday night's truck race. This past Thursday, as it was a 49-second gap. So we have once again surpassed that threshold and moved on to a little bit higher one. So we'll see if that continues to grow, which I have no doubt that it won't, or that it won't stop growing. So it's unfortunate if you're anybody behind him, as Jason Bird's going to have to make a mistake, as they came down pit road during that commercial break and they remained out front. So it's unfortunate if you're those guys behind them. Again, even with the pit stops there, it just didn't matter. But now about a 22-second gap, so it has gone down just a little bit. I want to point out Jason Berg is right here. That's your race leader. Second place, 22 seconds behind. Then we got about a 34-second gap behind that. So that's to the next person. From first to third place, there's a minute 22 separating them out on the track right now. Minute 46. So you might see a battle here going on here in a minute. But your leader has checked out, and I'm not sure, 76 getting a little squirmy there on the track, probably scaring Jeff Stadnow just a little bit. That is a battle for position. That is one of the few battles for actually position. The scoring tower having to pay attention to this one, as Jeff Stadnow trying to get back by Rob Stewart here and get fifth place away from him if he can. Again, as we talked about a little bit earlier ago, as we're coming up on 10 to go, it is one thing to catch someone. It's a whole different ball game to actually pass them. It's very difficult to do, but it can be done. Your best bet is to wait for a mistake to be made, but when you have 10 laps to go is what we're coming up on, you don't have a whole lot of time. You think about it, it's a 2.43 mile track. You would think you got plenty of time to get around. But you really don't when you're talking minute 40 a lap is what, as well as what your leader just ran. He's conserving fuel. Sorry, no, he's probably just getting back up to speed from his pit stop. But minute 19s, minute 20s. Some of these guys are running a little bit slower than that. But running these long minute 20s, it's really not that long. It seems like it is. But a minute 20 is just not a really long time. So, for them out on the track, it may seem like an eternity, but for us watching, it's not necessarily that long. There it is right now, 10 to go here in the remainder of this race. Again, we're at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park for the race, and Jeff Stadnow still hanging in there, but can't quite do it. You see right there, he's falling back just a little bit, so he's hanging in, not quite enough to do it, as he goes a lap down, and Rob Stewart will be next. So he's trying there, and Jeff Stadnow, I know he's going to go back and watch this later. He is the master at riding behind people to pick up positions. He did it in the truck race last season, but I don't think that's going to be the case here tonight. I don't think he's going to be able to catch Jason Berg to do that like he did it with his teammate to gain positions. But he didn't think we saw it then, but we did, but we're not going to see it here tonight. Those two, especially the 21, he's going to pull away. And if you're the leader right now, battling side by side with someone, a little scary, and he has to drive it in a little hotter than he probably wanted to, but he does make the pass complete. That's going to put Rob Stewart a lap down. We have 4 drivers on the lead lap right now. The next victim would be the 89 of John Ottenbacher, followed by Dan West Jr. We're going to keep an eye on these guys because this is a battle for position as well. So 2 guys duking it out here currently for 3rd and 4th. and potentially going to be going a lap down as well. All right, they're checking in on some stats here for later on at use. As right now, Jason Berg out front. I'm not sure how close he is to catching John Onbacher here. We got about a minute 5 gap between there, so probably about 15 seconds behind. So I don't think he'll possibly catch him before this race is over. I don't know. To be 100% honest, he's definitely, yeah, I don't know. He's reeling him in, but I just don't think he's going to get there in time. We're keeping an eye on that between those two drivers here. Again, Dan West Jr. having a solid third place run. But again, these two, we're talking about Dan West Jr. and John Onbacher, have been duking it out. Both of them been off course several times, sitting here going back and forth. Chris White, a lap down. He's also been in this group, but he's not anymore. He's back in 7th place, way back here with the 4 who just got by him. So he's not quite in that group anymore, battling with them, but still having a fairly decent run, a top 10 finish here with 8 laps to go. Again, I think Dan West Jr. may hang on to it over John Onbacher. Let's go on board with John Onbacher and see how he's driving this thing, as he is driving it real hot here for 1 lap. Alright, again, looking at me good. Drives it in real deep right here. I'll get right onto the back bumper. But again, as we've said multiple times here tonight, it's one thing to catch someone, it's another thing to pass them here. 7 laps to go. This is the closest battle on the track. And these are the last 2 guys in the lead lap. Brian Barnes, I don't think he'll be going to lap down anytime soon. But these guys potentially could. I don't think they're any immediate danger, as there's your race leader right there, the 21 of Jason Berg. I don't see either one of them too close to him. Again, we'll judge closer at the line. That's the easiest way to tell how close somebody is, as they're coming to the line right there. And Jason Berg coming around the corner. And that's pretty close. That's within striking distance here with 6 laps to go. If that's the case, we would only have 2 cars on the lead lap. Brian Barnes a little ways back here, 22 seconds behind your race leader, Jason Berg. Again, this is the main battle. This is the closest battle going on here at the moment. We'll go back a little bit. Rob Stewart, Jeff Stabnow back here. Chris White a lap down. Steven Paulson. There's just not anything going on here with your 9 drivers that we have on the track, except for right here. And even that one's kind of fizzling itself out. Jason Berg on the hunt. If I'm the 89 right now, in the 55 of John Onbacher and Dan West Jr., I have a feeling the Jaws theme song is playing right now. He is coming. The question is, can he get there in time? All right, folks, again, having a little bit of a coughing issue going on there, so we're trying to keep the mic muted so y'all didn't have to hear that. But it's 5 laps to go for Jason Berg. Again, we're keeping an eye right there. There is the 89 of John Ottenbacher. I'm not quite sure if he's going to be able to stay on the lead lap. It's just a matter right there, as you can see him right there. Let's go on board with the leader here, the 21. And you should be seeing the 89 appear into his screen at certain points. He's not going to be there. There he is right there. I do believe that's him anyway. Actually, no, that's going to be Dan West Jr., who has slipped up there just a little bit and allowed Ottenbacher to get by him. So we'll go back to our leader. That is Dan West Jr., who is now your 4th place driver. Missed that one. I do apologize, but looks like Dan West Jr. slipped up a little bit and it allowed John Ottenbacher to get by him, but not close enough, I don't think. I think those two are safe to stay on the lead lap. 1 minute and 12 seconds behind, 1 minute and 17 seconds behind. So we got, that is the 07 to Dana Rogers in the grass, driving slow. And I'm not sure. It looks like he is going to go ahead and get back onto the racing surface as soon as he could. And again, just nothing going on the track right now. Is nobody even remotely close to your leader unless he's putting you a lap down. All right, again, checking in here. Again, Jason Berg just on rails tonight. There's just nothing going on really on the track right now. We have major gaps between everybody on the track. We'll just have to kind of wait and see. Jason Berg has 3 laps to just keep this car running smooth, and he's still running minute 20 times here tonight. Everyone else behind him, minute 21, minute 22s, and minute 29s. No, just to point out, Rob Stewart here, 1 lap down in 5th, ran a minute 23. Dan West Jr. ran a minute 29. So Rob Stewart, while he's in 5th, is actually a little bit faster on that last lap than Dan West Jr. So again, those lap times are 1 lap. They're not consistent laps necessarily. So it definitely does not mean anything as we're coming up on 2 laps to go. And I'm not sure what is picking up in my mic here, but I do apologize if something's coming through there. There we go. Mike having some issues, but right now we have 2 laps to go, and look who is in striking distance there, as Dan West Jr. did finally go a lap down, but I don't think John Ottenbacher is going to get it. His lap down, we'll see right there. There's your leader. He is coming with 2 laps to go. It's going to be the white flag in the air, though, for the 21 of Jason Berg right there. White flag in the air. 1 lap to go. Presented by Northwest Racing Series. And so far, it is all about Jason Berg. He is going to lead every single lap of this race here tonight, unless something happens. Again, white flag in the air. He just has less than a lap to figure out how he wants to celebrate. As we'll watch him here, he's crossing the scoring loop for the second scoring loop. He'll be coming up on the flag stand before you know it, coming through a little hairpin turn and on to the backstretch, or what would be considered like a backstretch. He is chasing down the 89 of John Ottenbacher as they're coming up on the next scoring loop before the kind of long sweeping turn here. So they're coming up on that. We'll see, can the 89 stay on the lead lap? He is your third place car and the only third car on the lap. We'll see. And that is going to do it right there. Your race winner is going to be the 21 of Jason Berg. He led every single lap. He put all but 3 cars a lap down, or 2 cars, including himself, and he will be victorious here tonight. What a win here for the 21 of Jason Berg. We'll be talking to these drivers here in the top 3 in just a few moments, as we'll go ahead and put your finishing order down on the screen. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and we have our third and first place drivers here. Unfortunately, second place not being able to make it due to team speed not working, and that'll do it for the donuts and the burnouts as the engine just went kaboom. We heard it here first. But your third place driver, that's going to be the 89 of John Ottenbacher. and as we like to call him, Otto, or in my case, Otto Rocket, for all you old people out there that know what that show is. What a run here. And the words just out of Otto's mouth here were, "Thanks for letting me stay on the lead lap." And what a race here. Only three cars finishing on the lead lap, and you managed to be that third one. So, what was this race like out there?
Oh, it's a little crazy, you know. Yeah, a lot of people we like to overdrive everything, so we're not used to turning these right-handed turns, so it throws us for a loop a few times.
Well, it definitely was throwing a lot of people for a loop here. You go left, right, you have to hit the brake quite often. This track, definitely not one that a lot of people go to. And still losing that voice a little bit, so we're not going to keep this too long. But before we get to your sponsors, we want to know, compared the trucks to these. Obviously, one's fixed, one's open. Um, what are some major differences between the two, and how badly did you want that open setup here tonight?
Well, you know, we got lucky and were able to make the setup for this track, so I got had some input on it, and so it was like an open set for me. So it felt pretty good for me. You know, it was a little bouncy, but not bad. Wicked Chassis team did an awesome job again. Got to thank Jeff and Sean and Mark for everything they do and all the work they put into these cars and trucks. And just feels good to get a third place. It feels like a win to me, especially after Thursday night. I could have had a top three truck there, and the open setup didn't work too well for me on that hot track. So feels like a win for me tonight.
Definitely it is, and we know you got some sponsors on the car, and some shout outs. Obviously, the thanks for the setup, but who would those sponsors be on the side of that car?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Walls Beard Co. for all the sponsorship that they do for us, and got to thank VRN uh, and you, Charles, and everything that you do for us and make us look good out here. I got to thank my family. Christy, if you're watching, I love you, and thank you for letting me play around, and I think that's it.
Alrighty, well, that'll bring us to our race winner here tonight. And in the words of Emmett Crow, if you're out there watching, pure domination. That is exactly what Jason Berg did here tonight. Led every single lap, even under pit stops, led every lap and put the entire field a lap, at least one lap down, except for the ones he deemed worthy of sparing, Brian Barnes and John Ottenbacher, your top of three drivers. Once again, you're sitting in victory lane. You've been there quite a bit this season and just had a terrific run here on the road course. So, is there a secret to getting around these road courses?
For starters, got to make sure you take enough gas. That's been my enemy the first couple of road courses I've done at this league. So yeah, this time I double, triple check the gas, make sure it's going to give me enough, and then it's just a matter of being consistent, like always. Just try to race the track, not worry about anybody else.
We were talking a little bit before we went back live here onto the mic, and a lot of people, you said yourself, you went mowing the grass there a little bit off course. It seemed to be a trend here tonight. So just that, because of our own curiosity for the fans out there watching, you're gonna go off course a little bit, but when it comes to going off there, how many times, just in your own opinion here, of those little bitty off roads, they're not big and they don't affect you too much, but how many of those can you get away with, mulligans per se in a race before they really come back and bite you?
I'd say you're pushing it with just one, and luckily I was able to keep the car straight for both of mine. So I was just out there cleaning up the tall grass that everybody else missed pretty much. But yeah, I got lucky with where I went off. It just decided it didn't want to turn, and off I went. And luckily there was enough runoff there to where I could get back on. But you're definitely pushing your luck around here, because usually there's not a real big area to run off with, so you're likely to hit the wall. And just so happened I got lucky with where I went off.
Well, a lot of skill, a lot of luck. It all comes together. and you get the win here tonight. And of course, we know you got some sponsors on that car and some shout outs. So who does be for that win here tonight?
Yeah, first off, I thank VRN, and you always do a great job with the broadcasts. Walls Beard Co., Northwest Racing Series, Jeff, Sean, John, everybody else that puts this thing on. It's always fun. G4 Serial Media, check them out, Facebook or the website, g4serialmedia.com, Wofford's Towing, and Hall Inc. Op Consulting.
All right. Well, again, congrats on the win. Unfortunately, our second place driver having TeamSpeak issues, can't get it to work here tonight. That would have been the 4 of Brian Barnes. That'll do it here for the racing tonight. We're off the next 2 nights. We'll be back Thursday night with some dirt track racing coming your way. So stay tuned for that, and we will see you there.